So when I insult Elizabeth, which I frequently do, I do not attack that soft spot in the underbelly.
Richard Burton, one of Hollywood's most magnetic and volatile actors, carried a dark grudge that few knew about against one co-star who shaped his life in ways no other did. What exploded behind the camera set of his legendary romance with Elizabeth Taylor? And who was the person Burton never truly forgave? This is not just a story of love and glamour, but of deep rifts, secrets, and a rivalry that haunted Burton until the very end. Prepare to uncover the hidden conflict behind one of cinema's greatest love stories. Elizabeth Taylor was born on February 27, 1932, in northwest London. Her parents were wealthy Americans who soon moved back to California to escape the dangers of the growing war in Europe. Growing up in a family filled with creativity and art, Elizabeth began acting when she was just a child. She quickly became famous in Hollywood because of her stunning beauty and impressive talent. She lived a privileged life, moving between London's elite circles and Los Angeles's film industry, which paved the way for her rise as one of the world's biggest movie stars. Richard Burton's story was very different. He was born Richard Walter Jenkins in November 1925 in a small village in Wales called Pontrhydyfen. He was the 12th of 13 children in a poor family. His mother died when he was very young, and his childhood was filled with hardship. A loving sister took care of him, and his school teacher, Philip Burton, became his guardian and mentor. Philip changed Richard's surname to Burton and helped him develop his talent for acting. He won a scholarship to study at Oxford University and served in the British Air Force during World War II. Burton's strong voice and powerful stage presence made him famous in theaters and later in films. Although both Burton and Taylor became famous early in their careers, they did not meet often before their legendary encounter while filming the movie Cleopatra in the early 1960s. This meeting changed everything. On the set of Cleopatra, Elizabeth was already a famous star playing the Egyptian queen, and Richard was cast as her lover, Mark Antony. At first, Elizabeth was cautious, because she had heard Richard had a reputation as a ladies' man. Richard, on the other hand, was struggling with nerves and the pressure of the role. Their on-screen work slowly turned into a real-life romance. They shared long kisses during filming that went on even after the director shouted cut. Their chemistry off-screen was electric, and soon rumors of their affair began to spread. Both were still married to other people, which made the relationship scandalous and shocking to the public. Their love story, full of passion and drama, captured the attention of the world and forever changed their lives and Hollywood history. The story of Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton is one of two very different people whose lives collided and created one of the greatest love stories of all time, filled with sparkle, complexity, and unforgettable moments. When Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton first met on the set of Cleopatra in Rome in January 1962, the world was about to witness a love story that would shock Hollywood and amaze the globe. Both were married to other people, Elizabeth to singer Eddie Fisher, and Richard to Sybil Williams. But from the moment they came face to face, the spark was undeniable. Richard, known as a charming and confident man with a reputation for romancing co-stars, was surprisingly nervous and tired on their first day. He was so shaky from lack of sleep and drinking the night before that he asked Elizabeth to hold a cup of coffee to his lips. This small moment of tenderness marked the start of a passionate connection that soon grew into something neither had expected. As filming continued, problems delayed production, but Richard and Elizabeth's love could no longer be hidden. Their love scenes lasted long after the director called cut, and their bold displays of affection spilled from the studio into the streets of Rome. Paparazzi on scooters chased them everywhere, creating a frenzy around the new kind of celebrity scandal their affair represented. The famous photo of them together on a yacht became proof the world needed to fuel endless gossip and outrage. The reaction to their love was fierce and immediate. The Vatican's newspaper branded Elizabeth Taylor erotic vagrant because she was involved with Richard while married to another man, calling their affair an insult to family values. Across the ocean, American politicians demanded the couple be banned from the country. Wherever they went, crowds and photographers followed closely, hungry to catch a glimpse of this scandalous pair. The scandal broke both their marriages and pushed them into an intense spotlight of public judgment, unlike anything seen before. Yet, despite all the criticism and chaos, Elizabeth and Richard did not retreat. They exchanged letters full of deep passion, sometimes wildly bold and raw, revealing a love bordering on obsession. They declared their feelings not just through their words, but by living their affair openly in front of the world. By the time filming for Cleopatra finally ended, after nearly bankrupting the studio and breaking box office records, the two were inseparable. Their on-set romance became legendary, setting the stage for a decade-long relationship full of passion, drama, love, and heartbreak that would forever change Hollywood history. After filming Cleopatra, Richard Burton and Elizabeth Taylor's life together became a dazzling display of glamour, excess, and drama that captured the world's attention. Their marriage was marked by piles of diamonds, grand yachts, and luxurious homes spread across Europe and America. At the height of their fame in the late 1960s, they employed a large staff, chefs, drivers, assistants, that cost around $800,000 a year, which would be over $6 million today. Their love for luxury extended beyond just money. They owned some of the rarest jewels, including the famous Taylor-Burton diamond, and they collected exquisite art, fine wines, and other treasures most people could only dream about. But their spending was just one part of their extraordinary lifestyle. Their personalities were equally wild. Their love could turn into fierce and angry fights, sometimes breaking out in public at restaurants, on yachts, or behind closed doors. These dramatic fights became the focus of gossip and newspapers around the world. Yet, despite the tension and arguments, their chemistry was undeniable. Their passion drew people to them and set a new standard for celebrity obsession. The public watched eagerly as the couple's arguments and makeup moments became legendary headlines. Their life of luxury added to the myth of their relationship. Whenever they traveled, they brought a small army of helpers. Chefs, secretaries, chauffeurs, and bodyguards traveled alongside them. Each trip involved many trunks packed with designer clothes and luxury items. Their arrivals at airports were like major events, with paparazzi swarming to catch a glimpse of Taylor's sparkling jewelry or Burton's latest Rolls-Royce. Even the most indifferent bystanders couldn't stop watching. Their nights were filled with glamorous parties attended by Hollywood stars, aristocrats, and famous artists. It felt less like a simple marriage and more like a historic partnership. Every grand gift, every fight, and every reconciliation added to their fascinating story. Their names alone could fill headlines and sell movie tickets worldwide. To the public, Richard Burton and Elizabeth Taylor were not just famous actors. They were legends created by their love, their conflicts, and their amazing, sometimes outrageous life together. Richard Burton famously struggled to forgive the co-star with whom he shared the most intense and complicated relationship, Elizabeth Taylor herself. Their partnership on and off screen burned with a mix of powerful passion, rivalry, and deep, often unspoken resentments that grew over years of working closely together and living intertwined lives. Though they captivated audiences worldwide with their incredible chemistry, their personal relationship was fraught with emotional turmoil, which sometimes spilled over into public fights and professional clashes. Taylor's star power and dominance in Hollywood often left Burton feeling overshadowed, even though he was a highly respected actor in his own right. Together, they starred in 11 films, but behind the scenes, frustrations ran high. Burton struggled with alcoholism and health problems, while Taylor's unpredictable behavior and her own battles with prescription medicine challenged their fragile bond. She could be late to rehearsals or perform unevenly, which tested Burton's patience and created tension during productions like their final reunion in the play Private Lives. This ongoing push and pull between love and bitterness weighed heavily on them both. As their marriages broke down and were rekindled, their professional work was never far removed from their personal issues. Many close to Burton believed he never truly forgave Taylor for actions in both their private and professional lives, actions he felt nearly destroyed him. This lingering grudge did not vanish even during their rare moments of reconciliation. In fact, their intense connection may have intensified those feelings, creating a complex dynamic of love mixed with resentment. In Burton's later years, his struggle to let go of these grievances became more apparent. Friends and colleagues noted that his complicated feelings for Taylor shaped much of his emotional world. Though they stayed in contact and spoke often, true forgiveness remained out of reach. Their last conversations revealed an honest admission from Burton. He loved Taylor deeply, but recognized that their relationship could be toxic and destructive. In this way, the one co-star Richard Burton could never fully forgive was the person who shared with him the most spectacular rise to fame and the most painful falls, the incomparable Elizabeth Taylor. Their story is a vivid example of how love can be both the greatest joy and heaviest burden, painting the portrait of two extraordinary people whose lives and legacies were forever entwined by a beautiful but tragic romance. Richard Burton's deep inability to forgive Elizabeth Taylor had far-reaching consequences that touched every corner of his personal and professional life. Their relationship's intensity and unresolved tensions were a key factor in the breakdown of Burton's first marriage to Sybil Williams and contributed to the constant chaos in his ties with Taylor. The couple's love story was a whirlwind of passion and pain, highlighted by 2 marriages and 2 divorces, which reflected a cycle of heated affection mixed with bitter conflict, never allowing either of them to find lasting peace with the other. Professionally, Burton's attraction to Taylor and their complex rivalry influenced many of the choices he made in his acting career. The pair became an inseparable Hollywood duo, appearing in 11 films together, an arrangement that sometimes overshadowed Burton's individual talents. Being constantly paired with Taylor shaped how he was perceived by both audiences and film industry insiders. This dynamic, while profitable and powerful, also pigeonholed Burton. He passed on roles outside the Taylor orbit and became better known as part of their iconic partnership than as a standalone classical actor. His identity as an actor became enmeshed with theirs as a couple, which limited some of his artistic freedom but amplified the public fascination around them. Their stormy closeness also affected Burton's reputation with peers and the public alike. The famous arguments between the two, public temper flares from Burton, and Taylor's erratic behavior became tabloid staples. Their relationship was often portrayed as a dramatic and volatile dance of love and hate, which fed into the legend but also painted a picture of personal instability. Even after their final split, Burton was never able to fully sever ties with Taylor. They remained in contact through letters, phone calls, and occasional meetings, but the core challenges in their connection remained unresolved. This lingering bitterness shaped much of Burton's emotional life as he aged. His friends noticed how much the complicated history with Taylor influenced his moods and decisions. Despite their ongoing love for each other, forgiveness and peace remained elusive. Their last interactions showed Burton's honesty about the dangerous line between love and emotional harm. He loved Taylor deeply, but their relationship could also break him. This blend of affection and pain defined their saga. Ultimately, Burton's lingering grudge and tangled feelings for Taylor created a love story rich in drama and complexity. It was a tale of two people caught between immense devotion and wounds that never fully healed, showing how personal grudges can shape public lives and legacies in profound ways. The story of Richard Burton and Elizabeth Taylor remains a powerful reminder of how love's bright flame can sometimes burn with equal parts light and shadow. Richard Burton's personal struggles were deeply connected to his lifelong battle with chronic alcoholism, which shadowed nearly every aspect of his life, especially his tumultuous relationship with Elizabeth Taylor. Burton started drinking heavily at a young age, and during his years with Taylor, his consumption reached dangerously high levels. He often hid bottles and tried to mask the signs of his addiction, but his diaries reveal the pain of his inner conflict. Moments of happiness quickly slipping into spirals of heavy drinking that damaged his health and strained his relationships. Despite these clear warning signs and his decline, no serious intervention was made, and Burton was left to fight his addiction largely alone. Alcohol took a toll not just on his body, but on his career and personal life. Burton's drinking caused frequent arguments, missed work opportunities, and reckless behavior that alienated colleagues and friends. His already fiery and intense relationship with Taylor was made more volatile by his addiction. Their fights could erupt suddenly and violently, marked by extreme emotional swings where moments of care quickly turned to conflict. Burton's struggle with controlling his addiction created constant tension, adding to an already complex and troubled bond. At the same time, Elizabeth Taylor was fighting her own battles with addiction, mainly revolving around prescription medications and alcohol. Their addictions fed into each other, creating a destructive cycle of mutual enabling and emotional instability. The pressures of being the most famous couple in the world, the endless media attention, public scrutiny, and personal pain magnified their problems, casting a dark shadow over their lives. Together, they lived a life of highs and lows, with addiction deeply entwined in their story. Beyond addiction, Burton faced controversies and the harsh realities of a life shaped by celebrity pressure, self-destructive habits, and unresolved anger. Their story is often remembered as a tragic love story, marked by how inner demons can deepen conflicts, damage health and happiness, and leave a legacy just as complicated as the passion that fueled it. Ultimately, Burton's struggles with addiction and his personal demons played a massive role in the instability of his life, making his relationship with Elizabeth Taylor one of Hollywood's most legendary yet tragic romances. Richard Burton and Elizabeth Taylor left an indelible mark on Hollywood not only as actors, but as a legendary couple whose love and conflicts captivated the world. Their story defined a new era of celebrity culture, one where public fascination with private lives reached unprecedented heights. Together, they embodied glamour, talent, and scandal, setting a precedent for intense, high-profile relationships that blurred the lines between on-screen roles and real life. Their chemistry brought some of the most memorable performances to cinema, and their personal dramas fueled a fascination that lasted long after their films ended. Despite the turmoil, the depth of their love was undeniable. Burton often spoke of Taylor as the great love of his life, and their letters and interviews reveal a bond that survived multiple breakups, health battles, and public judgment. Even after their second divorce, their relationship continued through heartfelt correspondence and moments of reconciliation. This connection was complex, a mix of affection, dependency, hurt, and admiration that neither could fully escape. In Burton's final years, his feelings toward Taylor never waned. Friends reported that beneath his rough exterior and ongoing health problems, Burton's love for Taylor remained a powerful force. Their relationship had shaped his life in such a profound way that decades later, he was still haunted by their shared past and the regrets and passion they stirred. When Burton passed away in 1984, the tragic romance of Burton and Taylor was firmly etched in Hollywood's memory. Their legacy goes beyond movies and tabloid headlines. It is a powerful narrative of love's capacity to inspire and destroy. Their story remains a benchmark for celebrity romance, glittering yet flawed, passionate yet painful, and continues to intrigue and resonate with generations who see in them not just stars, but profoundly human figures who loved loudly and lived boldly. Their story was one of dazzling passion and devastating conflict, a blend of love so fierce and rivalry so raw, it reshaped the very idea of celebrity romance. Richard Burton and Elizabeth Taylor lived a life where immense affection coexisted with deep grudges, the very tensions that made their bond both magnetic and destructive. Their public love affair, marked by fights as much as by devotion, showed how personal resentments can ripple far beyond the private sphere, influencing careers, reputations, and the gaze of the entire world. Their rivalry was not just about jealousy, but a complicated dance of equal parts admiration and hurt that neither fully mastered. At its core was a love so overwhelming that it became both a source of inspiration and destruction. Burton's inability to let go of grudges, particularly against Taylor, shaped much of the turbulence, but also fueled the unforgettable intensity of their connection. This story invites viewers to consider how enduring personal conflicts can shape public narratives and leave a lasting legacy, reminding us that behind every legendary romance, there can be shadows that never fully fade. If this tale of love, rivalry, and regret has captured your imagination, don't forget to like this video, share it with fellow story lovers, leave your thoughts in the comments below, and subscribe for more intriguing stories from the lives of history's most fascinating icons.